Mike, thanks so much for your time. So I suppose, first of all, what brings you to the Africa Travel Indaba here in Durban?
Well, I want to experience Indaba for the first time personally, and we're really looking for partners, investors and developers to accelerate our growth in Africa. So that's my main reason for being here, getting a feel for the industry and what's happening.
Well, we've had an announcement from one multinational company, being British Airways, committing to a direct flight here to the city. What kind of plans does the Hilton Group have for the city of Durban?
Okay, well, Africa is a strategic growth market for us. We've been in Africa a long time. The Hilton Nile is almost celebrating 60 years. The Hilton in Nairobi, 50 years next year. And even here in Durban, with the Hilton Durban, we're in our 21st year. So we've been an important part of the tourism infrastructure for Durban, but we're looking to accelerate that, and particularly in the KwaZulu area and South Africa generally. We see the African continent as a strategic focus. We have 42 hotels that are currently trading and 52 that are currently in the pipeline. They are hotels that are under construction or in the design phase, but committed contracts. So in the next 5 years, we expect to double our portfolio. Much of that growth will be with our Hilton Garden Inn mid-market brand. We have one under construction near here in Umhlanga, which will open in the middle of 2020. And there's a further 17 in the pipeline, including almost 14 countries where Hilton doesn't currently have a presence on the continent.
I mean, naturally, that speaks to increased business activity and increased jobs in these countries, including here in South Africa.
Absolutely, and it's predominantly, the Hilton Garden is predominantly a business brand, but it really opens itself up to leisure. But we have a portfolio of brands covering every segment from luxury down to economy. And one of the most exciting things we've recently announced is our Hilton Africa Growth Initiative. So to accelerate this growth, we're committing up to $50 million over the next 5 years. And this is intended to support the conversion of existing independent hotels that can come into our system and benefit from our award-winning Hilton Honors loyalty scheme, where we have 71 million members now, and obviously our digital platform, where we're investing heavily in new technologies. And that's predominantly going to be conversion opportunities for our Curio Collection by Hilton brand, our Doubletree by Hilton brand, and even the core Hilton brand, and right across key cities,
Sure.
resorts, lodges, airports and the like.
Sure. So if I understand, I mean, you're concentrating quite heavily on your business offering. So you're taking a long-term view that business activity on the continent and towards the continent is expected to pick up. What's informing that view?
I think what's happening globally, I mean, more and more people are traveling for more and more reasons, and we're seeing that in Africa as well. Africa has some of the fastest growing economies in the world. Ethiopia, Ghana, Senegal are all growing significantly strong. There's increasing political and economic stability in Africa, and with that will come the opportunity for outside investment into the tourism sector.
So let's balance the conversation here. What about risks? So you're talking about increased political stability, but what risks still exist for more hotel expansion?
Well, I think political stability to create an investment environment that's going to attract outside investment in particular to help the segment. Supporting the growth of Africa from the demographics and the emerging nature of the economy, and diversifying those economies that rely less on the resource sector, more into service sectors, and the need for quality accommodation comes with all of that.
So last one, in your aggressive Africa expansion phase, where are you seeing opportunities being the ripest for the picking for players like the Hilton Group?
I think there's probably 10 to 15 strong economies over the continent in Sub-Saharan that I think is the bulk of our focus. And there are no surprises. Kenya now in the east has come back strongly after the elections last year. We're seeing increased activity there. We've just opened a business development office in Nairobi, and I'll be doing the same later in the year in Ghana to support our growth in West Africa.
So just bringing it back to South Africa and essentially the city of Durban, we've also received increased political stability with a new president, a new government and a new dawn story. Are you feeling the change in improved governance here in South Africa, and is it something that warrants, a relook at what kind of investments you'd be looking to do here in South Africa, perhaps accelerate those as well?
I think that's reinforcing our view. I think there's an initial very good feel-good factor. I've long been a fan of Durban. I think we can certainly introduce more brands into this city in different segments of the market, and I'd like to grow that in the KwaZulu region as well, with resorts and lodges to offer that quality of accommodation that international travellers are looking for.